I'm upset cause Isidore is trying to use my mother to come after me. And I'm telling you that I ain't gonna stand for it, Clarice. You wouldn't have to be worried about your whorish mother if you hadn't schemed your way to the top. Then why not let the whole world know that a deadbeat knocks you up, Yvette? Just leave it alone, Max, and move on.
Clarice, I demand to know what went on between you and Vivian. Drop it, Lorenzo. Vivian has been living in this estate for nearly a whole month now. I don't want you making it difficult for her.
How's Yvette holding up, Dee Dee? She would have been doing better if your boyfriend ain't interrupt us. We've been waiting here for an hour, Ben. Sean should have been here by now. Where could he be? Sorry I couldn't provide you with a proper Buddhist funeral, Sean. Having this done on our property was the best I could do.
Your bastard shouldn't be here in the first place, Lorenzo. And I told you that I refuse to listen to you talk like that when it comes to my daughter, because that's what she is, Clarice, and you need to learn to accept it. I already have, but you're trying to make me accept her as a member of this family for as long as I live. That is never going to happen.
What are you talking about, Dee Dee? I was at Shirley's diner when, out of nowhere, Max comes up to Yvette, asking her to tell him who got her pregnant. Did Max explain why he felt the need to know? He felt like he deserved to know because his name got mixed in the rumors when everyone found out Yvette got pregnant. Just be patient, Quinlan. How much longer do I have to wait? You read the text. He said he'd be on his way over. Sean knows the time, location, and that he's supposed to be meeting with a 16-year-old girl named Helen. He could be running late. Clearly, since we're here, like, sitting ducks, Ben, what if Wade got a hold of him? What do you mean exactly? Wade might have figured out that Sean would try and meet with a minor and get her to work at the parlor. What if Sean figured out that this was a trap? I'm sorry it had to come to this, Sean. I really am. The last thing I ever wanted to do was end the life of my own flesh and blood. Hopefully I was able to run the girl off who was texting your phone and she realizes that she won't be meeting with her at all. But you know what our father taught us, Sean. The organization is our first priority. Too bad you decided to forsake all that you've been taught.
I know how hurt and angry you are with me for betraying you, Clarice. And I can only imagine how much it hurt that I never even confessed to what I did for so many years. But Vivian is not to blame for my actions. She never was. But she is to blame for the schemes she came up with to snatch Russo Jewelers away from our sons. Actions I knew that an illegitimate spawn of yours would commit. Vivian wouldn't have needed to scheme her way to becoming CEO if you hadn't exiled Shirley the second you discovered I got her pregnant. I'm telling you right now, Lorenzo, I refuse to live my golden years seeing a bastard lavish in the birthright that belongs to Gianni and Isidore. Clarice, are you up to something?
I know that Max is upset by everything that went down, but I agree, Dee Dee. He has no right to know who the father of Yvette's baby is if Yvette isn't ready to share. It looks like Max will leave Yvette alone, but can you make sure he does? To be honest, Dee Dee, I really don't know if I could be of any help. Max really wants some space right now. You kidding me? JJ and I backed off. He should try and work things out with you. Can you blame him? Max and I probably wouldn't have been distant if you and JJ hadn't interfered in the first place. Just relax, Quinlan. How can I, Ben? How can I when there's a chance that Sean won't come and that the opinions are laughing at us right now? Give him some more time. I think I know how to make time go by quicker. What do you mean? We'll just have to send a text to Sean and let him know how long Helen will be waiting here. Let's just leave the text alone. If he replies, at least we'll know that he plans to get here, Ben. I'm gonna have to spare Mom and Lucas of the gory details of your passing. For as long as they live, they need to assume that you decided to run off in fear so no one would figure out what you did to Danny Clark. I'll do my best to make sure that Mom thinks you ran off to protect the family. For the first time in your life, she'll actually be proud of you. Wait a minute, you're not really here anymore. But Mom will have to believe that you hadn't entered the afterlife. I'm not planning anything, Lorenzo. I hope not, because I refuse to risk losing any more time with my daughter in my golden years. Are you alright, Nona? Not at all, Alan. It's time that we start going after that bastard, especially after the way she just spoke to me. Can't say you're wrong, cousin. Believe me, I really wasn't trying to hurt you. I honestly thought I was protecting you, and I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, Dee. I already told you that I forgave you, so I shouldn't be bringing it up. This distance between Max and I is frustrating. Valentine's Day is coming up soon, Vanessa. Do you think you and Max will be able to make amends soon? I don't know. I'm not even sure if Max and I will even make it as a couple by Valentine's Day. Did Sean respond? I'm sorry, Quinlan. I feel like such an idiot standing here. You shouldn't. We did the best we could. Try and stay positive. I know we'll find a way to stop the opinions. How, Ben? If you ask me, this was the only way we were gonna get Sean to confess to what he did to Danny. I'm sure you've already transitioned into the next life. Whatever you reincarnated as, feel free to visit. I promise not to choke you next time. That is, if you learned your lesson the first time. It's time that we start going after that bastard, especially after the way she just spoke to me. This distance between Max and I is frustrating. Valentine's Day is coming up soon, Vanessa. Do you think you and Max will be able to make amends soon? I don't know. I'm not even sure if Max and I will even make it as a couple by Valentine's Day. I'm sure you've already transitioned into the next life. Whatever you reincarnated as, feel free to visit. I promise not to choke you next time. That is, if you learned your lesson the first time. Sorry I couldn't provide you with a proper Buddhist funeral, Sean. Having this done on our property was the best I could do. What do you want this time, Commissioner? I want to know where your brother is. You know that I asked for space, Vanessa, and I agreed to that, Max. That was until Dee told me that you were trying to get Yvette to admit who got her pregnant. How has Yvette been doing? I don't know if I should share that with you, cousin. Not after the way you hurt her. Why do you got that look on your face, Alan? This is a face of an angry grandson who found out that you're making my grandmother's life more complicated. Why are you asking me about Sean? I need him to clear some things up for me. Where is he? I'd like to know that myself, Commissioner. I'm getting so tired of that cousin of yours, always painting me as the bad guy. That's not the case, Max. Sounds to me like you've got a bit too much faith in Dee. She knows that she didn't need to find out about my conversation with Yvette. Just like you don't need to know who got Yvette pregnant. Will you leave her alone for good? I already apologized to her. Only 'cause your mom gave you no other choice. Alright, Dee, you've got a point. But I really do regret what I did. especially when I saw how much my actions hurt Yvette. What are you saying, Alan? Nona told me how you made demands towards her, demanding that she get my dad and Zio Gianni off your back. And I'm telling you right now, Vivian, I don't ever want you talking to her like that ever again. And what you gonna do if I don't listen to this little warning of yours? I'll become your worst nightmare, Vivian. Your brother seems to have gotten himself into some serious trouble. When did you last see him? The other day. All he told me was that he'd be meeting with a friend. Haven't heard from him since. And that doesn't concern you, Raid? I don't want to have anything to do with Yvette Mitchell Vanessa, so I'll be leaving her alone. Great. What about you? Are you gonna continue to interfere in my life when I made it clear how that's not what I wanted from you? What did you expect, JJ? Yvette is a human being who's got feelings. Fine, I'll admit it. When I shared with other people that she got pregnant, I didn't think it through. Clearly, can you at least tell her how much I regret what I did? Why can't you tell her yourself? Ooh, I'm so afraid. You're so much scarier than the big bad wolf. I'm serious, Vivian. You don't know what I'm capable of. That's where you're wrong, Alan, because I know for sure that you ain't capable of much. Just because you're CEO doesn't mean you get to look down your nose at me. Keep believing that. Me being the head of this company will always remind you that you'll never be fit to wear my shoes. Should I be concerned, Commissioner? You just told me that your younger brother never made it back home. That doesn't worry you at all? You told me that Sean got himself in trouble. What has my brother gotten involved in? That's what I need to discuss with Sean. Clearly he isn't here, but when you hear from him, you need to tell me. I still care about you, Max. And I know that you still care about me. Don't think that I'll just stand by and do nothing when I hear that you're being reckless. Here's the thing, Vanessa. The more that you interfere in my life, the less likely I'll be willing to work things out with you. Yvette made it pretty clear to me that she wants me to stay away. Sounds like you need to respect her wishes, but I really want to make things right with her. I'm not trying to keep on avoiding her as if she doesn't exist. Can you please try and help me out, Dee Dee? I wouldn't speak too soon if I were you. Here's the thing, Alan. I'm majority shareholder. There ain't no way I'm gonna step down as CEO. Except you'll have to work harder at being CEO than Nono did. Why is that? When he was the head of Russo Jewelers, my family worked hard to make sure that he'd choose one of us to run the company after him. As for you, Vivian, we just want to see you lose your position. You just told me that your younger brother never made it back home. That doesn't worry you at all? You told me that Sean got himself in trouble. What has my brother gotten involved in? That's what I need to discuss with Sean. Clearly he isn't here, but when you hear from him, you need to tell me. Here's the thing, Alan. I'm majority shareholder. There ain't no way I'm gonna step down as CEO. Except you'll have to work harder at being CEO than Nono did. Why is that? When he was the head of Russo Jewelers, my family worked hard to make sure that he'd choose one of us to run the company after him. As for you, Vivian, we just want to see you lose your position. Owen is willing to see Valley Park burn in order to win this election. Are you too willing to see this town get torn apart to ensure that he loses? Are you ready to hear what the polls have to say between you and Heidi Russo? I'm ready. Hello? Huh? Fine. Let him in. What's going on, Mr. Torres? What do you need, Jeremiah? As you can see, I'm pretty busy. Since the two of you are here, I need to make things clear to you both. Did it work, Alan? It did. I'm pretty sure that I was able to get into Vivian's head and stress her out. How can I help you, Vivian? I'm here to explain how we can help each other. The last time I brought that lie, it ended up not helping me at all. May I remind you that you're the one who still reached out to me to try and have a healthy working relationship? What did you find out, Commissioner? Not much at all. Specifics, please? I'm being specific, Ben. Sean was nowhere in sight.
Like I told you before, Jeremiah, I'm in the middle of a meeting. Since I'm a busy man, you should have called first. Did you call when you showed the smear campaign against my son and another campaign using my family's beliefs to divide this town? Just tell me what you're doing in my office. Shelley is working on a very important project. I don't want this election to get in the way of what she's trying to accomplish. I don't need you to be pretty sure, Alan. I need you to be absolutely sure. I'm 100% sure, Nona. What I told Vivian got her thinking. Not only is she responsible for making Russo Jewelers a success, but she's also doing her best to keep her place as CEO. I'm very proud of you, Alan. This is only the first step. Harley, are you not worried that Vivian will try and keep a close eye on your son? You can't blame me for asking this, Vivian, but what made you supposedly change your mind? Look, Gianni, I still don't trust you. In fact, since I'm majority shareholder, I trust myself to stay as CEO and know that whatever you and someone else are trying to plan will fail. That can't be the only reason. You're right. I really could use someone who I consider to be a work friend. What do you mean Sean was nowhere in sight? You couldn't get Wade to tell you where he headed off to? According to Wade, he wasn't sure where Sean headed off to the other day. And you believed him? It's not that I took his word for it, but he made it clear to me that Sean was planning on meeting with someone who he told Wade was a friend. It sounds like you didn't doubt him, Commissioner. Believe me, you two. I hated that I couldn't doubt him. Not when I noticed that Sean's vehicle was nowhere in sight. What exactly is Shelley trying to do? She's in the process of building a house to help struggling mothers, making it known to these women that there are always better options. Sounds like a good cause to me, because it is, and I don't want either of you to get in my wife's way. If you two pull anything, you two will have to answer to me. Vivian's aware that Gianni and Isidore are coming after her. She might be a witch, but she's a human being and can't keep her eye on everyone at once. On top of that, she's a know-it-all who thinks I'm the weakest link in a family. Vivian's not concerned about me one bit, Nona. Fine, I'll admit that this does give you an advantage, Alan. Before we move forward, we need to clear something up, Clarice. What do you mean? When Alan is close enough to becoming CEO, will you still stand by his side, even though Gianni and Isidore are obviously still after the position? I thought our father was your work friend. Lorenzo ain't trying to keep a professional relationship, Gianni. He's too focused on making up for lost time. As for you, I know you ain't trying to cross that line. Wow, the two of us are actually on the same page. Good, because I also hope that this agreement between us can help me make amends with Ben. It didn't occur to you to try and obtain a search warrant? Because if Sean is clearly missing, something at the mansion could still help you locate him. I don't have enough evidence telling me that Sean is on the run. On top of that, he didn't meet with 16-year-old Helen, and there was no evidence that Wade knew about this intended meeting. Exactly. Sean still agreed to meet with her and get her to illegally work at his parlor. Why respond to the text from our fake profile if he wasn't gonna meet with us to begin with? My only target in this election is D.A. Russo, Mr. Doval. I'm not stupid Owen, so don't speak to me like I am, because I'm a man who'll do whatever it takes to protect my wife. This is perfect for the campaign. Hell, going after Shelley when she's trying to help struggling mothers is pretty messed up, Owen. I won't do anything to mess up her project, but building a house and getting resources for babies involves money, something that the Russos have. It's safe to assume that Heidi will help fund a pro-life project. We need to think about the moderates, Mr. Torres. I came to Alan about this plan, Harley. If I wanted my sons to kick Vivian out, then I would have approached them. I hope so, because even though Gianni and Isidore are plotting, we still have an advantage. They're working against each other, while the three of us are working together. My son really made an impression on you, huh, Vivian? He did. Ben was the first and only friend I had in the family. I'd like to have a chance to regain his trust. For the sake of making Russo Jewelers a better working environment for both of us, I'll see if Ben will try and reconcile. And I can't wait to wipe that stupid smile off your face
when you realize that I'm playing you just like you're trying to play me. Now I just need to go after our brother next. It's not that I don't believe your theory, but you two know that solid evidence is essential when going after a family like the Opinas. So what are you gonna do now, Commissioner? Make another stop at the Opina mansion. If Sean is still nowhere to be found, I'll conduct a search on the property. Would it even be worth it? If Sean ran off, I'm positive that Wade erased any evidence of where to locate him. I'm not stupid, Owen. So don't speak to me like I am, because I'm a man who'll do whatever it takes to protect my wife. I won't do anything to mess up her project. But building a house and getting resources for babies involves money, something that the Russos have. It's safe to assume that Heidi will help fund a pro-life project. We need to think about the moderates, Mr. Torres. But I really want to make things right with her. I'm not trying to keep on avoiding her as if she doesn't exist. Can you please try and help me out, Dee? And I can't wait to wipe that stupid smile off your face when you realize that I'm playing you just like you're trying to play me. Now I just need to go after our brother next. JJ was asking about you, Yvette. You can tell your cousin to stop. Try and hear me out. JJ seemed like he really wanted to make things right with you. What are you doing here, Dad? I'm here to let you know that you're the perfect person to help bring Russo Jewelers back to the family. Spit it out, Viv. Who's got you smiling like that? Me? Why am I not surprised? Lay it on me. Why did you make yourself so joyful? My big brother Gianni and I found a truce. I feel like we're in the Twilight Zone. We're Haitians who run an HVAC company, for crying out loud. Those protesters outside don't have anything better to do? We'll just have to proceed with business as usual. Can't we just get Isaac to get rid of them? It baffles me that people will lose their minds because we believe that unborn children have a right to live. Bringing Isaac over here would only agitate them even more, Shelly. Let's just ignore them. They'll get bored eventually. They sound pretty relentless to me. Do you think Pacho and Owen are behind this? Here's the thing, Dee. Ever since JJ came to town, he couldn't stand me, and the feeling is pretty mutual. From what I understand, the feeling wasn't always mutual either. It doesn't matter anymore. Would I be reaching if I say that I don't think you believe what you just told me? Technically, Russo Jewelers never really left the family. Vivian was never in consideration when her grandfather was running the company, Ben. She would have if Nono knew she existed. No one knew that she existed except for your grandmother. When you decided to keep quiet about who Vivian was, it allowed her to scheme her way to the top. Did you also come here to blame me for what happened, Dad? Not at all. Like I told you, I only want your help. There's no way I heard that right. Come on, Viv. You know Gianni can't be trusted. That's right. Then why did you make a truce with him? For the obvious reason, Pacho. I'm playing him just like he thinks he's playing me. Now I'm convinced that you weren't abducted and replaced by an alien. But don't you want to use all the time you have to make Russo Jewelers a success? And in order to do that, I need to get rid of distractions. Gianni needs to know that he'll never be able to beat me. And I'm gonna have to make Isidore realize the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Pacho and Owen were behind this, but sadly there's no way to prove it. Can we at least agree that it's not a coincidence after Owen made that smear campaign villainizing us for being pro-lifers? Definitely not a coincidence, but I feel like I gave him more incentive, Shelly. What do you mean? I told Pacho and Owen that you're building a house for struggling mothers. The fact of the matter is that JJ and I will never be friends, Dee. But it wasn't always like that for you, Yvette. We're not gonna get anywhere going around in circles. Just tell JJ that he can stop asking about me because he's the least of my concerns now that I'm pregnant. And that's the thing. Cause you're pregnant, you could use as many friends as you can get. JJ can be a friend this time. How do you expect me to help you make Vivian step down as CEO, Dad? You two got along before she took over. What's your point? Can you be her friend again? I'm not sure if I can. Well, I am. Vivian misses being your friend, Ben. She told me herself. Besides, your friendship doesn't have to be genuine. I just need someone to be close enough to Vivian to know her strengths and weaknesses, and risk having Max hate me for the rest of his life. He's still upset with me for keeping Vivian's true identity a secret. We figured that Isidore was trying to blackmail you, Viv. Guess we need to figure out what he could try and blackmail me with. How do you plan to make Isidore look bad with this scheme? He needs to look like a complete fool to the family. It's clear that fools can't run Russo Jewelers. Alright, I think I've got an idea. Why would you tell them about the refuge house, Jeremiah? I was trying to warn them not to do anything to get in your way. And you thought they'd take your warning lightly? I wanted to make it clear to them that I wouldn't stand around and do nothing if they try to pull anything, Shelly. There are real-life protesters outside of our business right now. What's your next step, Jeremiah? Am I gonna have to worry about protesters hindering the construction of the refuge house? Let me ask you something, Dee Dee. Would you ever be friends with someone who wished that you were no longer alive? JJ must not think that anymore, since he's trying to make things right. I really don't care at this point. Don't you understand that if you help me, then this will help secure your younger brother's future? I bet Max would appreciate that. Dad, I want nothing to do with your scheme. Most of all, I'm not trying to scheme my way in getting Max's trust back. What's on your mind, Pacha? The Russos already see you as a criminal. Why not turn you into one? I like where this is going. How are we gonna pull it off? So glad those protesters are recording something so amazing. I really hope Wanda is watching this. Shelly, you deserve what you got, making Wanda's daughter become a teen mom. What is this all about? When I give a warning, Owen, I mean every word I say. I really hope Wanda is watching this. Shelly, you deserve what you got, making Wanda's daughter become a teen mom. What is this all about? When I give a warning, Owen, I mean every word I say. Would you ever be friends with someone who wished that you were no longer alive? JJ must not think that anymore, since he's trying to make things right. I really don't care at this point. Don't you understand that if you help me, then this will help secure your younger brother's future? I bet Max would appreciate that. Dad, I want nothing to do with your scheme. Most of all, I'm not trying to scheme my way in getting Max's trust back. I spoke with Ben earlier today. Did you? What were you and our son talking about, Gianni? I was trying to get him to befriend Vivian. I don't understand, Mr. Dorval. You made your warning clear, and I took it seriously. What about the protesters outside of Jeremiah's business? Protesters? Did you have anything to do with it, ADA Grant? Of course not, Commissioner. I don't even know anything about any protesters. Have you paid any attention to the election for District Attorney, Wanda? I don't support either candidate, Udell. You already know that, which means I'm not giving the election much thought at all. The only reason I'm asking is because of how Owen is going after the Dorvals. What do you mean? It seems like he's going after them harder than he should. This might not be the best time, JJ. I need to speak with Yvette, Dee. Exactly. Like I told you, this ain't a good time. A good minute or two is all I need. Please. I'm so lost, Shiani. Why would you want Ben to get along with Vivian after everything she's done? Vivian is fond of our son, Heidi. Ben was fond of her, too, before she stole Russo Jewelers from the family. Unfortunately, Ben's not the best judge of character when it comes to making friends. He's with that whore Quinlan, for crying out loud. The point is that I'd like for Ben to be friends with Vivian so that he could help me get her to step down as CEO. Let me just remind you that lying to me is a crime. I'm well aware of the law, Commissioner Pierce. Besides, are you here on official police business? That depends on if you're telling me the truth, ADA Grant. And how do you think I'm connected to this protest? I'd like to know if you and Pacho sent those protesters outside of my business. You know how politics hurts everyone involved, Udell. I'm well aware of that. But Owen's attack against the Dorvals because of their pro-life views, it seems personal. Yvette's keeping the baby? Believe me, that wasn't the plan until Shelley Dorval got involved. What do you mean? I don't want to get into it. Wanda, you don't have to go through this alone. Wanda? Huh? It seemed like I lost you for a moment. What were you just thinking about? I feel like you said enough to me, JJ. I get that you've got every right not to forgive me for what I've done. That's for sure. Still, I want you to understand that I genuinely regret hurting you the way I did, Yvette. How did Ben respond to your request? He has no desire to help. I know you're disappointed, Gianni, but are you really surprised? We both know that Ben wants nothing to do with Russo Jewelers. But Max does. And Ben needs to realize that he has the ability to secure his younger brother's future. How do you plan to convince Ben to help out? I was hoping that you'd convince him, Heidi. What would I even gain from sending protesters outside of the HVAC business? I don't hear you denying it, Owen. Jeremiah, we came here for confirmation. That's it. That's really the only reason why you're here, to see if I'm behind the protests. I also have a warning of my own, Mr. Grant. What warning, Commissioner? I'd like to remind you that you're not above the law, because you can still suffer the consequences if you believe that you are. I'm not thinking of anything, Udell. Are you sure? It seemed like something crossed your mind. I was just trying to figure out why Owen would go after the Dorvals. I couldn't think of any reason at all. I think I know why, Wanda. I'm gonna let you two talk this out. I think I'm gonna follow your cousin's lead. Look, Yvette, I know that we don't have to be friends, but we don't have to be enemies either. Imagine if the roles were reversed, JJ. Just imagine if I was the one spreading rumors and you were affected. What if Ulissa was still here and I spread rumors about her? Don't tell me you forgot how disgusted you were when you found out I lied about Max. Guess it's karma for me because now I understand the feeling, and I know what it's like to be disgusted by that sort of behavior. I'm a born-again Christian and I did something so foul. Yvette, I don't think I can forgive myself when you won't even forgive me. You know that I have an election to focus on, Gianni. An election which takes place in November. You've got more than enough time to help me out, Heidi. Except the last time I tried to help you when it came to Russo Jewelers, we were both made fools of. And now we've got the chance to make a fool of Vivian. Enough. You're on your own this time, Gianni. Good luck. You're stating the obvious, again, Commissioner Pierce. But I can't help but feel like you're both trying to intimidate me. We're not trying to intimidate anyone, Owen. But you need to just focus on this election without going after those who don't want to see you win. And just so you know, ADA Grant, I'm pro-life myself. If you have an issue with my stance, then I can't support you in this election. What are you thinking, Udell? It's clear that Owen is trying to split this town apart and cause chaos in order to become district attorney. I hate that the Dorvals have been caught in the crossfire. The Dorvals know how to take care of themselves. Still, they shouldn't be targeted this much, Wanda. It's like Owen sees that family as his enemy, just like he sees Heidi as his enemy. Just because I'm not a Christian like you are, you don't think that I'm disgusted by my own behavior? I guess you were ashamed of that. You guess? JJ, you saw me as a monster, even when I asked for your forgiveness. I know, and I shouldn't have done that. Actually, I should have just shown you the same sort of grace Jesus showed me when I gave my life to him. You can ask God to forgive you all you want. Just don't expect me to offer you that same grace. Just tell JJ that he can stop asking about me because he's the least of my concerns now that I'm pregnant. And that's the thing, cause you're pregnant, you could use as many friends as you can get. JJ can be a friend this time. It's clear that Owen is trying to split this town apart and cause chaos in order to become district attorney. I hate that the Dorvals have been caught in the crossfire. The Dorvals know how to take care of themselves. Still, they shouldn't be targeted this much, Wanda. It's like Owen sees that family as his enemy, just like he sees Heidi as his enemy. I still care about you, Max. And I know that you still care about me. Don't think that I'll just stand by and do nothing when I hear that you're being reckless. Here's the thing, Vanessa. The more that you interfere in my life, the less likely I'll be willing to work things out with you. The Russos already see you as a criminal. Why not turn you into one? I like where this is going. How are we gonna pull it off? What we doing down here, Pacho? This is how we celebrate meeting each other a year ago. You mean to tell me that you reserved the entire ballroom at Theodosius' palace for just the two of us? That's right. Happy Valentine's Day, Viv. Hey, Miss Shirley. Hi, Vanessa. Will Max be coming here to spend Valentine's Day with you? Max isn't coming. Happy Valentine's Day, Wanda. I'm not here to ask you to be my Valentine, Owen. I came here to ask you if you're purposely making the Dorvals miserable. Happy Valentine's Day, baby. Guess you and Mommy are gonna be spending it with each other today while you stay in my tummy. Just give me some time to adjust. It not only feels weird talking to you when I can't even see your face, but I'm still trying to get used to the fact that I'm gonna be your mommy soon. Dee, what are you doing here? I ain't want my best friend to be alone for Valentine's Day, so I decided to keep you company. I really appreciate you going all out for me today, but I feel like we're missing something. Let me know what it is and I'll make sure to get it for you, Viv. When we met, Pacho, I was your DoorDash delivery lady. I was kinda hoping that you'd gift me with some cash. Now you're much more than a DoorDash delivery lady. You're the CEO of Russo Jewelers. I sure have come a long way. Not only am I glad that I got the company, but I'm glad I got you too, Pacho. Guess he stopped by after all. Y'all let me know if you need anything. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, Vanessa. I never expected our first Valentine's Day to be like this. Neither did I. How did you imagine it to be like, Max? When you and I got together, I would have loved to have set up a picnic for you at the park. It's not too late for all of that. It is. Why do you care about anything concerning the Dorvals? Answer my question, Owen. The Dorvals made you miserable since Shelley convinced your daughter not to terminate her pregnancy. Please tell me that you're not that stupid. Thanks for stopping by, Dee. It really means a lot. What do you have planned? We can watch funny movies to cheer you up, Yvette. I wouldn't mind watching any movies. Before you stopped by, I thought I'd be spending Valentine's Day alone with this baby inside of me. What about the guy who gave you the baby? Do you know if he's spending Valentine's Day alone? I'm so glad to have you in my life too, Viv. And I'm even happier knowing that we don't have to see each other like this in secret anymore. A couple people in our lives ain't so happy. That doesn't make me love you any less. That's right. And I can't wait to show everyone around us that you and I are unstoppable. I've missed you, Max. And I know that you've missed me. Valentine's Day is a perfect opportunity for us to work things out. There's nothing magical about Valentine's Day where it will erase our issues, Vanessa. I'm not trying to say that our issues will vanish like they never existed, which is why you and I need to talk so that we can find a solution. Because if we don't talk things out, then we won't have a relationship to save. Maybe that's what's best for you. Why would you call me stupid, Wanda? Because you don't seem to understand that your attacks against the Dorvals are a personal one. Worst of all, the Dorvals could figure it out and grow suspicious. I can assure you that the Dorvals will only see me as someone who is only trying to become the next district attorney in November. Except Udell, notice that your attacks against that family have been personal. If my husband could notice it, so can Jeremiah and Shelley. I don't care what the baby's father is up to, Didi. Did he at least send you a Valentine's Day card? Why would he? Me and him were never even involved like that. So he just sleeps with you just to leave you high and dry? Is this guy worried that he's gonna lose his inheritance if his wealthy family finds out he got you pregnant? It's not like that at all, Didi. Are you talking about our scheme against Essador? Sure am. I can't thank you enough for coming up with the idea, Pacho. I'm relieved that I'm with someone who's got a great mind. Almost as smart as I am. I must admit, Viv, having you in my life has helped me to grow as a person. I can't imagine life without you. You don't mean that, Max. I meant every word. Then you're a fool for saying what you said, because I wouldn't be better off without you, and I won't let you walk out of here until you explain what you mean. It's best that I don't. Well, don't expect me to break up with you without understanding this completely. And if people ask, I'll still let them know that you and I are very much together. Explain yourself, Max. Ulysses not here, Vanessa. This is yet another holiday that she doesn't get to celebrate because of me. How am I supposed to enjoy Valentine's Day with you when your best friend is gone forever? I thought we already got past this. Max, you're not to blame for Ulysses losing her life, so please stop blaming yourself. It's not gonna change what happened. It won't bring Ulysses back. Most of all, she's not even gone forever. Her soul is safe with Jesus, and we'll be reunited with her eventually. What makes you think that she won't resent me one day? What if I do something that puts you in danger again? I love you, Max, which means that nothing in this world will ever make me resent you, and I feel safe with you. You make me feel safe, Max. Please don't let your pain, frustration, and fear keep us apart. There's clearly a lot of healing that needs to take place, but we can get through this healing together. Don't push me away, Max. If you still love me, then don't let me go. Does Udell still think that my attacks against the Dorvals have been personal? Thankfully, he feels like you're making personal attacks only because you're an ambitious jerk who's trying to tear Valley Park apart. Is that what you think of me? Just don't make the Dorvals miserable because Yvette is going to be a teen mom. I don't want you to see me as a monster, Wanda. I want you to see me as someone who cares if you're hurting and someone who wants to take that pain away. Udell and I have plans, Owen. Guess we'll have to make this quick. Are you telling me that your baby daddy's got less money than you? Leave it alone, Didi, please. You ain't gotta feel ashamed, Yvette. It don't matter how much money this guy has got. He should still be involved in the baby's life. Money isn't what's keeping him away. What you trying to say? We gotta stop having this conversation. Yvette, I get that your parents are gonna help you out, but I know from being raised by a single mom that it's still hard even though family is around to help out. What do you expect to tell the baby when he or she grows up? I know you're gonna love this baby with everything you got, but do you want this baby to grow up not feeling completely loved? Cause you let the dad off the hook? Who is it, Yvette? What broke bum got you pregnant? He's got more than enough time to get his act together and step up. It's Zeke. Zeke got me pregnant. Happy now. What broke bum got you pregnant? He's got more than enough time to get his act together and step up. It's Zeke. Zeke got me pregnant. Happy now. If Sean is still nowhere to be found, I'll conduct a search on the property. Would it even be worth it? If Sean ran off, I'm positive that Wade erased any evidence of where to locate him. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, Ben. Are you ready to head out? I'll try to get ready. It's kind of difficult to celebrate knowing that Sean and Pina could pop up out of nowhere and try to end my life. Being here with you like this is a dream come true, Isabel. You have no idea how happy I am to spend Valentine's Day with you after so many years apart. And now you and I get to enjoy this day together. Hopefully we don't end up spending it in a hotel room for years to come. Hopefully you're enjoying our first Valentine's Day together, Nichelle. I'm absolutely loving it, Zeke. Spending this time with you makes me really happy that we got back together and that we get to spend more Valentine's Days with each other. Zeke Franklin is the father of your baby? It's true, Dee. Zeke's the one who got me pregnant. Does he? Did you tell him? Does Zeke know? He doesn't know. Why not? Sean won't risk getting caught, Quinlan. Not when he's the most wanted man in the country, especially after you made the news segment about him running off when he planned to traffic a teenage girl. And Danny Clark is still without justice. And Wade made sure that his younger brother Sean got everything he needed to run off undetected. Try not to stress about it for a little while. Just focus on the time you and I will spend together. I really want to, Ben, but it's really difficult not to think about how I let Danny down. Don't worry about any of that, Isabel. Let me handle it. Right now, I just want to focus on this moment we have together. I get that, Isidore, but I've always known you as the sort of person to make a specific plan for the future. Exactly. Having you in my life is exactly what I see for my future. Since that's the case, then how come it seems like you can't tell me how long we'll be seeing one another in secret? What are you playing at, Harley? I'm not the one playing games, Isidore. You seem to be doing that yourself, since you're interacting with Isabel while keeping a serious secret. At least you're having a good time here, Nichelle. Sorry I couldn't take you anywhere fancier. Don't worry about any of that, Zeke. Besides, when you finish high school, you'll do some HVAC work and someday you'll make enough money to start a business of your own, just like you planned. Having my own business is gonna take some time. I just wish I could give you so much more right now. Zeke is in a relationship, Dee. So what? Being with Nichelle ain't stop him from going behind her back. When did you and Zeke even hook up? It was Black Friday. That's when I got pregnant. That's right. He decided to check up on you at the party because he noticed you were upset. I sure ain't expect him to sleep with you to help you feel better. Come on, Dee. It wasn't like that at all. The two of us got emotional talking about the tragedy at the high school. While we were talking, one thing just led to another. And now you're pregnant with Zeke's baby. I hope you ain't keeping it a secret for Nichelle's sake. You didn't let Danny down. The only person who should feel guilty about what happened to her is Sean. But I understand your disappointment, Quinlan, especially after what you went through with Zeke's dad. Danny won't be able to grow up and spend Valentine's Day with a guy, but Sean gets to live it up in paradise after taking her life. Being on the run might not be as luxurious as you think. Even if Wade is funding his younger brother, he sure is living a better life than those in prison. Unfortunately, Sean's not where he belongs, Ben. Are you finally admitting that you and I are in a relationship? I'll be in a true relationship with a man when I don't have to sneak around to be with him. Don't change the subject, Isidore. Don't worry, Isabel. You and I won't be having secret meetings for long. How long? You just have to trust me on this, okay? I own Theodosius' palace, remember? I've got everything I need, Zeke. All I want from you is love and loyalty. Zeke? Yeah? It seemed like I lost you for a bit. Are you good? I'm more than good. Actually, I'm grateful, Nichelle. Thanks for giving me another chance when I ain't even deserve it. I need you to know that I'm gonna do whatever it takes not to let you go. Good, because you know I don't expect anything less. The sad part is that it's still difficult to think of a future without Yulissa in it. Bottom line, I don't need Zeke's help, Dee. You think your baby's gonna say that in the next 18 years, Yvette? Do you actually think Zeke would step up if he finds out that he's the one who got me pregnant? You won't know for sure unless you tell him. I do know for sure. He lost Nichelle before and he's not trying to lose her again. It's easier if he doesn't know that he got me pregnant because he'll do whatever it takes to keep it from Nichelle and she'll figure out that he's hiding something major. We'll find him, Quinlan. Sean will be thrown into prison sooner than you think. That's the issue, Ben. I don't see us locating him anytime soon. Don't feel hopeless. It's not in your nature. Just keep being the fighter I know you are. Don't go silent on me, Isabel. Do you trust me? I really want to. Then trust me then. You already know how much I love you, which means that I'll do whatever it takes to keep you in my life so that you and I can enjoy many more Valentine's days together. I'm right here for you, Nichelle. Whenever you're missing Ulysses, just remember that I got you. I miss my little sister every single moment, but I'm glad I still got you, Zeke. After we leave the diner, do you want to stop by a store and place some flowers at Ulysses' grave? I love to visit her grave. Thank you, Zeke. You sure you want to keep your baby from his or her father just to protect a relationship that ain't even gonna last forever? I don't know if Zeke and Nichelle will stay together, but I won't be responsible for it coming to an end. If Zeke could cheat on Nichelle, then a relationship ain't worth saving, Yvette. Let me make something clear to you, Didi. If you value our friendship, then you won't tell anyone what I just told you. No one else can find out that Zeke got me pregnant. I love you, Max, which means that nothing in this world will ever make me resent you, and I feel safe with you. You make me feel safe, Max. Please don't let your pain, frustration, and fear keep us apart. There's clearly a lot of healing that needs to take place, but we can get through this healing together. Don't push me away, Max. If you still love me, then don't let me go. And I can't wait to show everyone around us that you and I are unstoppable. We'll find him, Quinlan. Sean will be thrown into prison sooner than you think. That's the issue, Ben. I don't see us locating him anytime soon. Let me make something clear to you, Didi. If you value our friendship, then you won't tell anyone what I just told you. No one else can find out that Zeke got me pregnant. What's up, Didi? Hey, Zeke. It's good to see you. What broke bum got you pregnant? He's got more than enough time to get his act together and step up. It's Zeke. Zeke got me pregnant. Happy now. Let me make something clear to you, Didi. If you value our friendship, then you won't tell anyone what I just told you. No one else can find out that Zeke got me pregnant. You sure you're happy to see me? Because your face and the tone of your voice is telling me something different. I shot my father, and I'm about to shoot you. All of you. Ulysses, you can't sleep on me, Ulysses. Not now. Open your eyes for me. I need you to open your eyes. Are you sure you want to be in here, Vanessa? I've avoided the library long enough, Max. It feels so eerie, knowing that this was the last place I saw Ulysses alive. You're not alone. It's been really difficult to try and step into this place. But in the bottom of my mind, I knew that I'd have to face my fears and step back in here again. Is he about to come in? He should be. Okay, Pacho. I see him now. Thank you so much for reaching out, Mr. Apina. Can't wait to speak with you more. Mr. Apina? Were you on the phone with Wade Apina, Vivian? What do you want? Fine, send her in. What do you want, Miss Franklin? It's nice to see you again too, Mr. Apina. To answer your question, I'm here to offer you an opportunity to come onto my program and discuss your younger brother Sean's disappearance. I'm good, Zeke. Then how come it looks like you're upset with me? I ain't upset with you. I'm just tired. I get that. Hope you can feel more awake later today. Thanks. But enough about me. How did you and Nichelle enjoy Valentine's Day? We hung out at Shirley's diner, then visited her sister Ulysses' grave to place flowers. That's really nice. For Nichelle, I think that Ulysses wouldn't feel the same. How come? I think I told you this before, Dee Dee, but Ulysses wasn't my biggest fan when she was alive. 'Cause you cheated on Nichelle when you were first together? JJ, if you came by to cause trouble, then this is a really bad time. Causing trouble isn't what I want to do, Max. Good, because Max and I just talked things out. I'm not trying to cause trouble for you two, Vanessa. Because you finally gave up, I'm here to apologize. Why is it any of your business who I'm on the phone with as a door? Are you not aware that Wade Pena is a notorious gangster? Last time I checked, in this country, everyone is innocent till proven guilty. Well, it's been proven that his younger brother is a perv on the run, so Wade is guilty by association. My brother didn't disappear, Miss Franklin. He ran off after doing something he had no business doing. But don't you find it strange? What are you getting at? I mean, why exactly would Sean go on the run if no one else knew what he was up to? From what I gathered, the text he sent to the minor made it clear that he was planning to meet up with and traffic her. Why change his mind and go on the run? I never understood Sean's actions. Are you willing to let the public know that? That's one reason. And you already know how in the past I ain't really make the best choices when trying to make money. Sorry, Zeke. I ain't mean to bring up the past like that. No worries. It ain't like I got any reason to be mad since I'm the one who did all those things. All I'm trying to do now is make it all up to Nichelle since she forgave me. I bet Nichelle appreciates the effort you made to keep her happy. She must be a very special person for you to move heaven and earth to keep her in your life. You're finally apologizing, JJ? What brought this up? Lately, I realized how much damage and pain I've caused these past few months. It wasn't right. I realized that I wasn't only causing other people pain, but that I caused God pain too. So I asked God to forgive me. I'm glad to hear that. Really, do you forgive me, Vanessa? I'm your big sister. I'm always gonna forgive you, no matter how much of a dumb jerk you can be. And Max, after a lot of thinking and praying, I realized that Ulysses' passing wasn't something I ever should have blamed you for. Can you forgive me for all the things I've said and done? Wade ain't the one on the run. That doesn't erase the fact that he's still under the FBI's radar. Sucks for him. It ain't like the FBI is looking at me. So why are you treating me like I'm the one under investigation? They could if they find out that you're in contact with someone like Wade Pena. Aw, Essador. I ain't know how much you cared. I care about Russo Jewelers and how your contacts can affect this company. I had no desire to be on TV when you first approached me, and I have no desire to be on TV now. Are you not concerned that your younger brother is on the run while the authorities are looking for him? No, I'm not concerned, Miss Franklin. Not at all. But how did he even have the resources to leave Valley Park undetected? Our rich father left him a large sum of money. This is a sort of deja vu because the police pretty much asked me the same questions. I also had a lawyer present. Since my time was wasted, I'd rather not waste any more time with worthless questions. Zeke, can you leave me and Dee Dee to talk alone? Don't worry, Yvette. I ain't tell Zeke that he's the one who got you pregnant. What am I supposed to think when I see you two talking? Zeke is a friend of mine. You know that. And I know that ain't in my place to tell him the truth, even if he is my friend. You did a lot of damage, JJ. A lot. I understand that. And I also understand if you're still angry with me. That's right. I was really angry by everything you did. But staying angry won't solve anything, which is a lesson I had to learn recently. So, I forgive you, JJ. Thanks. I'll leave you two alone now. Praise God. I'm glad that we finally found peace now. There's still another challenge we have to face, Vanessa. What do you mean? Keeve took Ulysses' life in this library. It started all of the issues we're working through right now. You and I need to figure out how to forgive the monster who took our friend from us. Do I really have to repeat myself, Essador? Who I'm in contact with ain't nothing you need to be concerned about. It is my business if it affects my family's business. Russo Jewelers is mine, and it will always be mine. Most of all, it's in good hands. Doubt it. Can't say I care what you think since you ain't the one in charge. This isn't an interrogation, Mr. Apina. As a news reporter, it's just in my nature to ask people a lot of questions. Since you're so eager for the world to hear what I think, let them know this. I don't know where my brother is, and that I find his behavior despicable. End of. Russo Jewelers is mine, and it will always be mine. Most of all, it's in good hands. Doubt it. Can't say I care what you think since you ain't the one in charge. Just don't make the Dorvals miserable, because Yvette is gonna be a teen mom. I don't want you to see me as a monster, Wanda. I want you to see me as someone who cares if you're hurting and someone who wants to take that pain away. Udell and I have plans, Owen. Guess we'll have to make this quick. Since you're so eager for the world to hear what I think, let them know this. I don't know where my brother is, and that I find his behavior despicable. End of. What is it you need, C.O. Essador? I need you to figure out how Vivian is connected to Wade Apina. Kimmy, I know you're extremely disappointed that Sean Apina isn't in prison for taking Danny's life. How are you holding up? I'm trying to hold on to Hope Quinlan. Some guy in the neighborhood did cheer me up by sending me a card with a bag of candy for Valentine's Day. That's really sweet. Since Sean ran off, does that mean you're gonna stop looking into the Apinas? How's the progress with locating Sean Apina? We're working night and day, D.A. Russo. Unfortunately, there haven't been any updates. Make sure that you're working hard, Commissioner. There's a lot of pressure to try and locate him. How do you like this place, Shelley? I think this would be the perfect spot for the refuge house. In less than a year, so many lives will be changed right where we're standing, Jeremiah. Jeremiah and Shelley, funny running into you here. What makes you think that Vivian has any connection to Wade Apina? It's not what I think, Benedict. I heard that bastard on the phone clear as day with my own ears. Did Vivian deny it when you confronted her? She couldn't deny anything since I caught her red-handed. Let's say that Vivian and Wade are in contact with one another. What's your endgame, CO? I want you to figure out what those two are cooking up together. It's not like I can go all over the world and locate Sean. That's a relief. Does this also mean you won't be trying to turn the world upside down to bring the Apina organization down? Jackie, the only tangible way of taking down the Apinas was by going after Sean. Now that he seemed to have vanished out of thin air, the chances are slim. Are you saying that you don't think Danny will ever get justice, Quinlan? D.A. Russo, it's not likely that Sean is even in the country, but there's no record that he or Wade purchased any tickets to travel. They built their empire through illegal means. That family has ways of leaving the country undetected. Explain this to me, Commissioner. I never really heard the details on how you helped set up a fake teenage profile to try and lure Sean Apina.
I had the fake profile set up with the help of your son, Ben.
What are you doing here, Owen? I was just in the neighborhood. Is this a place where you'll be building the house for struggling mothers? Did you have us followed? Why would I do something like that, Shelley?
Of course, just like you wouldn't send protesters to harass us either.
Jeremiah, I thought we already had that settled. Look, this meeting is nothing but a coincidence.
As if you expect us to buy that. You're impossible.
How are you so bothered that my family didn't endorse you? It's clear that you wouldn't have accepted an endorsement from us, since we clearly have differing beliefs.
It's no secret that Vivian is a schemer, but I don't think she'd do anything illegal. Have you forgotten that she had Pacho Torres blackmail your grandfather in order to steal his shares? That demon child is capable of anything. What if Vivian is involved in illegal activity, Tio? Are you telling me that you'll turn her into the authorities? You just gather the information and let me handle the rest.
To be honest with you, Kimmy, I'm not 100% sure if Sean will ever pay for what he did to your friend. Even though I don't know how Danny lost her life, at least we all know who's responsible. See you later, Quinlan.
Are you happy, Jackie?
Excuse me?
I came here to check up on your daughter, but your attempt to interfere in my life ended up upsetting her even more.
You've got to be kidding me.
What possessed you to involve my son into something which was clearly dangerous? From what I understand, Ben used to be a police officer. On top of that, he's a PI who knows how to take care of himself.
Exactly.
My son is no longer in the force commissioner. He shouldn't have been involved in police business in the first place. You're right, but he was already involving himself without my say-so.
What are you talking about?
Your son was trying to help his girlfriend Quinlan Franklin go after the Opinions.
You can't be more wrong, Shelley. I'm not bothered at all that you two didn't endorse my campaign.
We're not convinced, Owen. Just like we're not convinced that you're fit to be district attorney. While you attempt to become the next district attorney, we want you far away from my project.
Like I told your husband, I won't do anything to hinder such a worthy cause.
Good. Now get out of our sight. Did you not comprehend how a complete disaster occurred because you blackmailed Dr. Terry Murphy for all those years? If you're gonna blackmail Vivian, then I don't see it ending well for you. I know for sure that if Vivian remains as CEO, then it will be an even bigger disaster. Will you help me out or not?
Let me tell you who'll get upset if you end up 6 feet under. Your mama, please. She'd get disappointed for like a minute, then move on with her life. Your mama's got her flaws. I get that, Quinn. But she loves you and your brother with all her heart. If that were true, Jackie, then she wouldn't have failed at protecting her kids. Explain it to me, Gwen. How'd your mama fail to protect you? Just forget it.
I'm not even surprised. Of course that girl would put my son into a dangerous position. Your son can make his own decisions, D.A. Russo. I'm certain that Quinlan didn't force him to do anything he didn't want to do. Quinlan Franklin is a selfish, opportunist, Commissioner Pierce. Because of her selfishness, she doesn't care if my son sacrifices his entire being for her own gain.
Before I leave, I want to make something clear to you both.
What?
I'm certain that you two wouldn't be so paranoid if your family had only focused on your own issues instead of the issues of others. Have a nice day.
What did he mean by that, Jeremiah?
Wish I knew.
Quinlan Franklin is a selfish, opportunist, Commissioner Pierce. Because of her selfishness, she doesn't care if my son sacrifices his entire being for her own gain.
I'm certain that you two wouldn't be so paranoid if your family had only focused on your own issues instead of the issues of others. Have a nice day.
What did he mean by that, Jeremiah?
Wish I knew.
Did you not comprehend how a complete disaster occurred because you blackmailed Dr. Terry Murphy for all those years? If you're gonna blackmail Vivian, then I don't see it ending well for you. I know for sure that if Vivian remains as CEO, then it will be an even bigger disaster. Will you help me out or not?
I bet Nichelle appreciates the effort you made to keep her happy. She must be a very special person for you to move heaven and earth to keep her in your life. Even though JJ and Max aren't friends, I'm just relieved that they're not butting heads with each other. That's good. Are you good, Didi? What do you mean? It looks like something's bothering you. Don't worry, Yvette. I ain't tell Zeke that he's the one who got you pregnant. What am I supposed to think when I see you two talking? Zeke is a friend of mine. You know that. And I know that ain't in my place to tell him the truth, even if he is my friend. Ou pensez Owen te suivre? Peut-être, papi. But we can't prove it. And what did he mean that you two didn't focus on your own problems? We don't know that either, papa. Crois-moi. I wish I knew. What are you doing here, Mrs. Rousseau? I'm here to find out why you feel like you have the right to put my son in harm's way. Isidore bought the whole thing. Now he believes that I'm a thug, just like Wade Pena. And I can't wait to see the look on his face when he finds out that you fooled him once again. Mabama, come on, Didi. Where's that cousin you? You don't need to lie to me. I will be good, Vanessa. If there's something you want to talk about, this is the perfect time to say something. It's okay. Nah, if I say something, then things won't be okay. Why not? Cause it could cost me my friendship with Yvette.
Why did you stop by, Udell? Because I wanted to see how your family has been holding up after the attacks that Owen Grant made against you.
Sadly, we're expecting even more attacks.
How come, Shelley? We were at the construction site for where Shelley plans to build a house for struggling mothers. To our surprise, Owen Grant showed up out of nowhere.
What? We believe that he had us followed and that he's trying to come after my project for political gain. What are you even talking about? Don't play dumb with me, girl. I'm a grown woman, and you're well aware of that, Mrs. Rousseau. Most of all, I'm not playing dumb. Why are you so upset? I'm upset because it seems like you think going after the Pena family is a walk in the park. How did you find that out? Don't worry about it. I'm telling you right now, Quinlan, now that I do know, I'm not going to stand by and let you put Ben's life in danger. Ben, it's so good to see you again. It's been a minute, nephew.
Are you really surprised that I haven't reached out since you took over Russo Jewelers and made my little brother hate me?
Max ain't gonna stay mad at you forever. Just like I hope you ain't mad at me forever, nephew. Cause I honestly wasn't trying to hurt you at all.
Well, your actions were hurtful, and it sounds like you keep doing things to hurt the family.
Is Yvette in some sort of trouble? Drop it, cousin. She's pregnant, Didi. Getting into trouble is the last thing she and her unborn baby need, especially since she's so young. I get that Yvette ain't showing yet, but I sure ain't forget that she's pregnant either, Vanessa. Just let me deal with it. Then you should realize that being pregnant is a big deal. Yvette is about to be a mom, but she's still got a lot of growing up to do. If she's asking you to keep a serious secret, then you're not obliged to keep it.
I've noticed that Owen's attacks towards your family seem personal. Glad you noticed, Udo. I believe that he's attacking us because we refuse to endorse him as the next district attorney.
But it still confuses me though. He's angry that we didn't endorse him, but he's against our pro-life stance. It makes no sense as to why he'd be so angry that we're not supporting him in this election. I never asked Ben to help me solve Danny Clark's case. Did you ask him to back off? He's a grown man, Mrs. Rousseau. So I wasn't gonna ask him to do anything he didn't want to do. Fine, let me explain something to you then. Before Ben grew up, I fought hard to make sure that he would beat his addictions. Just because he's grown doesn't erase the fact that I'm still his mother. As his mother, I'll continue to fight hard to keep you out of his life. What you mean, Ben?
Theo Isidore came to me and told me how he heard you speaking on the phone with Wade Pena.
And you believed him? Why would Viv get involved with the mob? It's clear that your uncle is lying.
Is Isidore lying to me, Vivian?
Isidore's gonna say or do anything to make sure that I ain't CEO no more, Ben. I was never on the phone with Wade Pena.
Why would he come up with a lie like that?
The opinions are all over the news at the moment. On top of that, Isidore is power hungry. It ain't a good combination, nephew. I bet you that if you look into this, then you ain't gonna find any connection with me and the opinions. Tande Vanessa, try to keep in mind that just cause you're 18 now, it don't mean your brain ain't still developing. The point I'm trying to make is that whatever Yvette wants you to keep hidden is bothering you. I don't want to see you miserable. I ain't miserable, and I'll be just fine.
I don't think Owen is acting out of anger, Shelley. He purposely wants to see Valley Park burn to win this election. Heidi told us the same exact thing not too long ago.
But how are we going to stop him from causing more damage?
The Russos are definitely supporting Heidi, and I'm endorsing her. If all of us can come together, we can stop the chaos that Owen is attempting to create.
Did you forget how you failed the last time you tried to keep Ben and I apart? I love Ben, Mrs. Russo. I don't want to cause him any pain. I don't care what you want, Quinlan. Let me make this clear to you. I didn't make a name for myself by giving up. Gianni and I are still married after you wrecked our family because I didn't give up. I've got a busy day ahead of me, so you should head out. Before you leave, I need you to know that this war you started against me will not work out in your favor. You know where the door is.
Alright, Vivian, I'll take your word for it. But if I find out that you're lying to me, don't ever think I'll trust anything that comes out of your mouth again. Cheer up, Viv. You are actually telling the truth. Ben just doesn't know what you're up to. As for Isidore, he'll end up looking like the liar.
Vivian, Pacho Torres, I couldn't help but notice that Ben stopped by to speak with you both. What just happened here?
Cheer up, Viv. You are actually telling the truth. Ben just doesn't know what you're up to. As for Isidore, he'll end up looking like the liar.
Vivian, Pacho Torres, I couldn't help but notice that Ben stopped by to speak with you both. What just happened here?
The Russos are definitely supporting Heidi, and I'm endorsing her. If all of us can come together, we can stop the chaos that Owen is attempting to create.
Let me make this clear to you. I didn't make a name for myself by giving up. Gianni and I are still married after you wrecked our family because I didn't give up. I've got a busy day ahead of me, so you should head out. Before you leave, I need you to know that this war you started against me will not work out in your favor. You know where the door is.
What's wrong, Quinlan?
Your mother. She practically barged in here. What did she want? Same old Ben. Your mother is bringing up her old threats of tearing you and I apart.
Heidi, why does it look like you're ready to enter a boxing match?
Because I am Gianni. Quinlan Franklin has put our son in danger. Why were you at the Dorval estate, Udell?
I wanted to check in on how they were doing after Owen Grant made those attacks against them.
Let me guess. They told you that they were doing just fine, right?
No, Wanda. Owen is straight up harassing them.
My conversation with my nephew ain't any of your business, Harley. You just said it. Since Ben is your nephew, that makes Alan your nephew as well. Because Alan is my son, what occurred here is pretty much my business.
It was a private conversation. I suggest you turn around and walk away.
And Ben is a private investigator. Did you two hire him to look into someone, or is Ben investigating you?
I get that my mom refuses to get along with you, Quinlan, but what caused her to start this battle with you today?
She found out that you and I have been looking into Danny Clark's case together. On top of that, she feels like I don't care that your life was placed in danger because of it.
My mom is extra. You know that.
Don't let her sour attitude get to you. Too late, Ben. What are you talking about, Heidi? That whore convinced our son to investigate the Apina family. It wasn't enough that Ben risked his life saving that harlot from Adaku Denjuma, but she wants to bring our son into her next dangerous thrill. Try to calm down, okay? I don't like the idea of Ben going after mobsters, but one thing about our son is that he's a survivor. Just because he survives reckless behavior doesn't mean it should be celebrated, Gianni. I didn't say that. You know how you could wisely use your words, Gianni? By talking some sense into Ben. Hold up. How is Owen harassing the Durvals?
While Jeremiah and Shelley were at the construction site for the house Shelley plans to build for struggling mothers, Owen showed up out of nowhere.
I didn't even know Shelley was working on that sort of project. Guess she actually does care about babies after they're born.
The issue is that Jeremiah and Shelley are worried that Owen will try and sabotage the project.
Take a wild guess at what my answer is gonna be. What is it that you're trying to hide, Vivian? I'll gladly answer this question. I ain't hiding nothing, Harley. Seriously, are you really so bored without your man in your life that you ain't got nothing better to do than to get into everyone else's business? Don't you dare speak on my relationship with Finnegan. You know nothing about it. And you don't seem to know if your man is still alive. Maybe you should leave town and find out whether he's 6 feet under or not.
Remember, I know more than anyone how overbearing my mother can be, but she has no idea how much Danny's case means to you.
Exactly. But because your mother's got a law degree and is a talented district attorney, she feels like she knows everything and proceeds to make false claims about me. You don't have to care what she thinks because it doesn't matter, Quinlan. Not in this situation. It's not as easy as it sounds, Ben. How am I supposed to try and locate Shauna Pena when your mother made it clear that she's going to try and find a way to keep me from you? What do you even want me to say to Ben? Since you had an affair with Quinlan behind my back, you can have a serious conversation about how she's nothing but poison. Do you think bringing up the past is really supposed to help, Heidi? The two of us are actually on speaking terms with Ben. I don't want to mess that up. All right, Gianni, I'll remember that when we bury our son because Quinlan assigned him to take yet another dangerous task.
Ben will be just fine.
Besides, why should I speak with him when you refuse to convince him to help me take down Vivian? I get that the Durvals and Owen have got their issues with each other, but why would Owen go out of his way to mess up such an important project?
Because he's ambitious, and it is getting out of control. I won't stand by and let him cause any more damage.
What's that supposed to mean, Udell?
What I'm trying to say, Wanda, is that I'm tired of that man ruining lives just because he wants to. It ends now.
What are you gonna do?
I spoke with the Durvals. I plan to work with them and the Russos to keep Owen Grant in line.
You know what? Why waste my time? There's no way I'm gonna let some little girl get to me. Listen here, Grandma. You ain't gonna refer to me as some little girl, cause I'm a grown woman. Please, you're not even old enough to drink yet. It's obvious that you're still a little girl mentally, since you didn't heal from childhood trauma. How are you a lawyer, and you can't even get your facts straight? I ain't never had no trauma in my childhood. Oh, I do have my facts straight. You grew up without a father, Vivian, because you feel like you were robbed of the life you felt like you deserved. You robbed my son of his future by taking over Russo Jewelers. In a matter of time, you'll only just run that company to the ground. You still gotta do your homework, Harley. According to the numbers, Russo Jewelers is doing extremely well. So there ain't no sign of failure coming from me anytime soon. Whatever. Let's say that you're the best CEO in the company's history. That amount of success won't erase the fact that you didn't grow up wealthy like Alan did. It sure won't erase the fact that Lorenzo wasn't around for his bastard daughter for all of her life.
Don't you know by now that I love you too much to let my mother's schemes keep me away from you?
I want to stay positive, Ben. I really do. But Heidi just makes my blood boil.
I'm right here for you, which means that you don't have to go through any emotional distress alone.
Grow up, Gianni. Keeping our son alive is more important than who's running Russo Jewelers. I thought you understood that by now.
Don't put words in my mouth, Heidi.
How can I when you won't even listen to the words I'm telling you? Whatever, I'll just deal with this on my own. Hold on, Udell. Don't you think that going after Owen like this will only cause more unnecessary strife?
Did you listen to anything I just said, Wanda?
Are you not listening to what you're saying?
I certainly am. Owen won't be creating any more damage once he learns his lesson. He thinks he's unstoppable at the moment, but he won't stand a chance against the wealthiest families in town.
Have you forgotten that Pacho Torres is endorsing Owen? Can't you see that your plan will only create even more division? Udell, please don't do this.
Just trust me, Wanda. My plan will work. You better get to stepping before I have you thrown out, Harley.
Fine, I'll leave. You two have a wonderful day.
Are you good, Viv?
I will be when Harley learns never to speak to me like that ever again.
What are you thinking about doing?
It's clear that Harley ain't got nothing better to do than to get on everyone's nerves. Maybe she should get an update about her man. I think it's time for her to realize that her man ain't living no more.
But we don't know that.
Exactly, Pacho. Nobody knows it for a fact, which is why we're gonna make the whole world believe that he's no longer living. Can't you see that your plan will only create even more division? Udell, please don't do this.
Just trust me, Wanda. My plan will work. Are you good, Viv?
I will be when Harley learns never to speak to me like that ever again.
What are you thinking about doing?
It's clear that Harley ain't got nothing better to do than to get on everyone's nerves. Maybe she should get an update about her man. I think it's time for her to realize that her man ain't living no more.
But we don't know that.
Exactly, Pacho. Nobody knows it for a fact, which is why we're gonna make the whole world believe that he's no longer living.
What update do you have for me when it comes to Vivian Benedict? I confronted her about having a connection to Wade Apina. And what did she tell you? Vivian told me that she was never in contact with Wade at all.
Is everything alright, Pacho?
I'm calling to see whether you're still trying to make the world believe that Finnegan Burke is no longer alive.
That wasn't something I said out of frustration. I plan to go ahead with this and crush Harley Drake. Udell, why didn't you tell me that Jeremiah and Shelley would be here?
Because it would have been a lot to explain over the phone.
Well, I'm here in the flesh. What's going on?
I've called this meeting to ensure that we all work together to keep Owen Grant in line.
You need to stop surprising me like this, Wanda. Luckily, my apartment isn't a mess. But don't get me wrong, a surprise visit from you is always welcomed. Why didn't you heed my warning, Owen? Sorry, it's just that you're so beautiful. I can't remember what your warning was. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I specifically asked you to leave the Dorvals alone, and you went ahead and kept going after them. You're the PI, Benedict. It should be clear to you that Vivian is lying. Can you blame me, Tio? The two of you are habitual liars. It's clearly genetic. Sharing the same father does not make Vivian and I family. That's how it usually works. On top of that, you never knew me to be involved in the feuds within our family, and I'm not going to start today.
I understand that Harley said some messed up things to you the other day, and that she's trying to get into your head. But a lie like this will affect people other than her.
Who's to say it's a lie? For all we know, Finnegan Burke might not even be alive after his lunatic son tried to blow his brains out. Besides, Finnegan had beef with plenty of people before he fell into a coma.
Exactly. Finnegan was Key's first victim before he took the gun to school, Viv. If we say that Finnegan didn't make it, all it will do is bring up memories for everyone affected by the tragedy that took Ulysses' life.
Not that I'm opposed to this plan at all, but why form this sort of alliance to keep Owen in line?
Because he's been out of control lately, Heidi.
Out of control how? When Jeremiah and I visited the construction site for the house I'm trying to build for struggling mothers, Owen showed up out of nowhere. Alright, I'll admit how that sounds pretty sketchy. Try not to get upset with me, but I tried to warn you. I tried to ask you to hold off on this project until the election was over. Are you kidding me? Heidi, I shouldn't be required to only help others on someone else's timeline. Most of all, I won't sit down and do nothing while it's clear that Owen is trying to sabotage my project. I did exactly as you asked, Wanda. Are you seriously gonna stand there and lie to my face? I'm not. Udell told me otherwise. What has your husband been saying about me this time? He told me how you showed up at the construction site for this house which Shelley Duvall is about to build. Now, are you gonna tell me the truth, Owen? It was just a coincidence. I decided to take a walk and happened to run into Jeremiah and Shelley Duvall. How do you claim to love me when you insult my intelligence? That's not what I'm doing. Don't try to persuade me otherwise, Owen. I'm here to let you know that if you don't stop doing what you're doing, then there will be consequences. You can't be serious. Are you seriously gonna allow Vivian to get away with this when you've known me all of your life? Getting in touch with a mobster is much more than a family feud. Knowing you all of my life doesn't win you any points, Zio. Benedict, if you fall for Vivian's lies, then you're a bigger fool than I thought. Vivian is CEO because you fell for her lies. So what does that make you? Before she stole Russell Jewelers, there was no way of knowing that your grandfather was unfaithful and created an illegitimate baby with the family cook. Are you willing to tarnish our family's legacy by refusing to help me? Hear me out, Pacho. I ain't trying to bring up painful memories about your younger sister's passing. I know that, Viv. But the fact remains that painful memories will pop up if you make the whole world believe that Keith Burke actually ended up taking his father's life. Do you not get how Harley will keep on coming after me if I don't go through with this? Okay, so we keep Owen in line. How exactly do you plan to do that, Udell? First, I'd like for you to get the rest of your family involved. Sorry, but I don't see that happening. Why not? Because they're too focused on keeping an eye on Vivian since she became CEO of Russo Jewelers. Still, I'm certain that your family doesn't want to see you lose your position. Except Russo Jewelers means everything to the family I married into. This alliance right here is all we need. But I'd also like to know what the endgame is in regard to keeping Owen Grant in line. Are you threatening me, Wanda? No, I'm not threatening you. In fact, I'm actually trying to help you. I don't need to remind you that Shelley Duvall convinced your teenage daughter to keep her baby. Again, if I was going after the Duvalls, why would you care what happens to that family? I'd care if you are going after anyone, Owen. What is this really all about? Don't ask. Just do as I say. I highly doubt that you're telling me all this out of the kindness of your heart. And I know that your heart is full of kindness, Wanda. You told me that you wanted to help me, but I don't feel like I'm being helped. Believe me, Owen, you are. How? Do you not get that the more you proceed to partake in reckless behavior, Udell will eventually try and come after you? Tio, the whole world knows that Vivian is No-No's illegitimate daughter. Our family's name has already been tarnished. I'm letting you know this right now. If you refuse to help me, then you'll regret it. I'll take my chances then. Are you sure that you can't find another way, Viv? This is the only thing that will completely break Harley. Please tell me that you'll help me, Pacho. Pacho is Owen's biggest endorser in his campaign. So do you expect us to go after Pacho before going after Owen? The plan is to go after both of them at the same time so that Owen can lose Pacho's endorsement. Are you saying that you plan to turn Pacho and Owen against one another? That's exactly what I'm saying. Udell is trying to come after me? How? As if he'd share the details with me. How much do you know? Would it make you chill out when you find out that he'll get the Dorvals and the Russos to come after you as well? Clearly those families don't like you either, Owen. Powerful families. And I've got a powerful ally in Pacho Torres, a member of the most influential family in town, Wanda. You don't need to worry. I'm not worried about you, Owen. I'm worried that there will be an unnecessary battle since it's clear that this election is getting too heated. Just stop acting foolish because even with Pacho Torres on your side, this is a war you cannot win. Benedict, if you fall for Vivian's lies, then you're a bigger fool than I thought. Vivian is CEO because you fell for her lies. So what does that make you? Before she stole Russell Jewelers, there was no way of knowing that your grandfather was unfaithful and created an illegitimate baby with the family cook. Are you willing to tarnish our family's legacy by refusing to help me? She's pregnant, Didi. Getting into trouble is the last thing she and her unborn baby need, especially since she's so young. I get that Yvette ain't showing yet, but I sure ain't forget that she's pregnant either, Vanessa. Just let me deal with it. Then you should realize that being pregnant is a big deal. Yvette is about to be a mom, but she's still got a lot of growing up to do. If she's asking you to keep a serious secret, then you're not obliged to keep it. Udell is trying to come after me? How? As if he'd share the details with me. How much do you know? Would it make you chill out when you find out that he'll get the Dorvals and the Russos to come after you as well? Clearly those families don't like you either, Owen. Powerful families. And I've got a powerful ally in Pacho Torres, a member of the most influential family in town, Wanda. You don't need to worry. I'm not worried about you, Owen. I'm worried that there will be an unnecessary battle, since it's clear that this election is getting too heated. Just stop acting foolish, because even with Pacho Torres on your side, this is a war you cannot win. Try to breathe, Isidore. Just because Ben won't help you find dirt on Vivian doesn't make it the end of the world. How are you so calm, Isabel? Vivian is dating your son. Her connection with Wade Apina could place Pacho in danger. I'm well aware of that, Isidore, and I don't like it one bit. But Ben is still your family. You can't just paint him as the enemy just like Vivian is. How exactly do you expect me to look at my nephew when he's siding with Vivian over his family once again? It's been a while since you stopped by, Max, which means you understand how much it hurt me when you knew that Vivian was Nono's daughter all along. I never would have kept her secret if I knew what she was up to. And I'm sorry. Hurting you like that was the last thing I wanted to do. You've got to believe me. Let me make something clear to you, Didi. If you value our friendship, then you won't tell anyone what I just told you. No one else can find out that Zeke got me pregnant. So again, Didi, how come my cousin, who is usually full of life, seems so down lately? What do you mean there's a serious threat against your campaign? It's Udell Mitchell. He's trying to come after me. Come after you how? He plans to scheme with the Russos and the Dorvals to somehow sabotage my campaign. How do you even know this, Owen? Udell is trying to come after me? How? As if he'd share the details with me. How much do you know? Would it make you chill out when you find out that he'll get the Dorvals and the Russos to come after you as well? From what I understand, Isidore, Ben never chose sides before or after Vivian took over Russo Jewelers. Of course he chose sides, Isabel. Before Vivian became CEO, he was the first person to sign over his shares to her. And since he refuses to look into her like I asked, it gives that spawn an advantage. Well, Ben isn't going to change his mind. What are you going to do now? My dad is so eager to bond with Vivian, maybe he'll have to be the one to figure out what she's up to. I never thought you'd ever hurt me that bad, Ben. Neither did I. Look, Max, ever since you were born, I did my best to be a good older brother and look out for you. Just like what? Like how Elvira looked out for me when I was alive. Thinking back, I failed badly as a big brother. Falling into addiction didn't make me a good influence. And then I let you down by allowing Vivian to steal Russo Jewelers. Even when you faced your battle with substances, I always knew that you did your best, Ben. Don't get me wrong, I was really upset that you allowed Vivian to take away my chances at running Russo Jewelers someday. But I was also upset that you chose her over your own brother. Why does everyone care what's going on in my life lately? Maybe because you've got a family who loves you and wants to make sure that you're alright. I'm good, Shelly. Are you sure? Fine. I might not be doing as good as I just said. Someone who's close to Udell gave me this information. Don't you think I'd be concerned about you being so vague? The source was pretty vague about Udell's scheme against me. So what do you want me to do, Owen? It should be obvious that I need for the two of us to come up with an idea to keep Udell from succeeding. Vivian convinced Ben that she wasn't in contact with Weda Pina. She is also the daughter, which Lorenzo never knew existed all of her life. What makes you think your father will believe you when you bring this up? He probably won't believe me, Isabel. But as long as he can get along with Vivian, then he'll find out what sort of criminal his golden child truly is. That's not what happened, Max. And I promise that I'll never choose anyone over you. I'm not saying this to shame you, Ben, but you chose substances over me in the past. And I'm clean now. The thing is that when Vivian came to town and I found out that she was Nono's illegitimate daughter, it was complicated. I couldn't be the one to turn our family's life upside down. So you gave her the option to do that all on her own. I gave her the option to tell Nono the truth, Max. Not to steal his company from under him. I get that, Ben. Does that mean you don't blame me for Vivian becoming CEO? Whatever it is, I'm here to listen to you if you want to share. My friend swore me to secrecy, Shelly. And I guess it's a secret that's too heavy to carry? It's not just the secret, Shelly. It affects another friend of mine, and I can't say anything at all. Where do you expect us to even start? Neither of us know what Udell's got up his sleeve, but we do know what sort of cracks there are in his little alliance. The Dorvals had legal issues with the Russos in the past. As for Udell, his daughter and Max Russo dealt with a long legal battle, and they all set their differences aside to keep you from becoming the next district attorney. Exactly, Mr. Torres. They had major differences with one another before, and they can experience major differences again. Do you honestly believe that Vivian will show that side to your father? Gianni, Elvira, and I grew up with our dad in our lives. Vivian didn't get that opportunity. She might pretend like it doesn't affect her, but I know it does. And she'll long to be close to my dad. Once that happens, he'll realize that his precious little angel isn't so innocent. I get that you weren't conspiring with Vivian to take over Russo Jewelers, Ben. I understand that she fooled you too. So are we good? We're good. Sounds like you don't know who to be loyal to, Didi. Ma pedis amimwe, simwe lageshatla, mbakonenki mapfe. If your friend is a true friend, then tell her how you feel. It might just encourage her to tell the truth. And how exactly do you plan to turn them against one another? Simple. You and I need to figure out how to make the Dorvals distrust the Russos again. As for Udell, he'll have to find a way to be angry at the same woman who tried to put his only child in prison. Ma pedis amimwe, simwe lageshatla, mbakonenki mapfe. If your friend is a true friend, then tell her how you feel. It might just encourage her to tell the truth. Alright, Gianni, I'll remember that when we bury our son because Quinlan assigned him to take yet another dangerous task. But the fact remains that painful memories will pop up if you make the whole world believe that Keith Burke actually ended up taking his father's life. Do you not get how Harley will keep on coming after me if I don't go through with this? I knew it wasn't easy for you, Pacho, but I really appreciate that you helped me out. At least you'll never doubt that I'll always be by your side, Viv. Let's just hope that lying about Finnegan passing away doesn't backfire on us. It won't. Dr. Terry Murphy ain't trying to come out of hiding to make the world believe that her cheating ex-husband might still be alive. So you're the one who broke the news that the man I love is no longer living. I have a few more questions for you, Pacho. I don't see what you're doing here, Miss Franklin. I thought it was clear that you and I had nothing to say to one another, which is why I'm trying to get in touch with your mother. You're trying to do what? I didn't misspeak. I'd like to speak with your mother to hear her thoughts on your younger brother Sean going missing. sorry, Max. I'm so sorry.
Yvette? Spring break is coming up, so are we going to be working at the Theodosius Palace that week, or are we going to be enjoying the week off?
Next spring break, I'll be running the hotel with my mom. So I'd like for us to enjoy our last spring break as high schoolers.
I'll block my schedule. Can't wait for spring break.
Zeke.
What's up, Dee?
My friend swore me to secrecy, Shelly. And I guess it's a secret that's too heavy to carry. It's not just the secret, Shelly. It affects another friend of mine, and I can't say anything at all.
Harley, I'm sorry for your loss.
Cut the crap, Pacho. How did you hear from her?
Her?
Terry. She hasn't been seen for months. All of a sudden, she reaches out to you in a letter claiming that Finnegan lost his life.
If you're asking me to tell you where she is, I promised not to disclose her location. You should understand that, since you're a lawyer. She has a right to privacy.
I'm more than just a lawyer, Pacho. I'm a woman who heard that the man I love is no longer alive. Terry needs to face me and tell me, and hand me proof where it's declared that Finnegan passed away. My mother is unavailable. That's clear to me since I tried to get in touch with her, but I couldn't figure out how. Because my mother enjoys her privacy, Miss Franklin. But her son is nowhere to be found. I doubt she's enjoying paradise with Sean missing. Let me worry about my mother. Since you know her so well, do you think Sean reached out to her at some point? What do you want, JJ? I wanted to check up on you. I know you didn't forget that I asked you to stay away from me. Yvette, I'm sorry. Can't say I believe you, since you're standing right in front of me. Trust me, when I saw you, I was about to turn away, but I couldn't. It's easy, JJ. You turn around and walk the opposite direction. But I heard about Finnegan Burke losing his life. When I saw you, I just had to ask how you were doing. I wasn't honest with you when we spoke last time.
What you mean?
Remember how you noticed that I wasn't doing too good?
Yeah? You gonna tell me what's been bothering you?
It's Yvette.
What about her?
Yvette asked me to keep a secret. But that secret, it involves you too, Zeke.
Do you not understand that Terry wants to keep a low profile, especially after her son took my younger sister's life?
But Terry doesn't love Finnegan. I'm the one who loves him, and I deserve to know the details.
Because Keeve tried to blow your boyfriend's brains out, it turned out Finnegan didn't make it.
I want to know exactly what went wrong, Pacho.
Terry didn't go into detail.
I don't believe it, and I also refuse to believe that Finnegan is gone.
You shouldn't be making assumptions about my family, Miss Franklin.
I'm not making any assumptions, Wade. All I'm trying to do is get in contact with your mother. That's not happening. Shouldn't that be up to her? Like you just mentioned, I know my mother. I know her much more than you do, which means that she doesn't want to appear on TV to discuss our family's issues. You know where the door is. Okay, if your mother changes her mind, you know how to get in touch. Why would I be upset, JJ? I didn't know the man like that.
But now that he's gone, it makes him Keeve's second fatal victim.
Am I supposed to feel bad for Keeve's dad? We wouldn't be having this discussion if Finnegan Burke had just hidden his gun from his crazy son.
So Finnegan Burke's passing did bring up memories of that day. What you mean Yvette's got a secret that involves me?
Before I say anything, I don't want you getting mad at her, Zeke. I pressured her to tell me the truth.
The truth about what, Dee?
I know about Black Friday, Zeke. I know that you and Yvette hooked up that night. Why would I lie to the American people, Harley? You run a mainstream media news network, Pacho. Mainstream media has been known to lie to its viewers for over a decade. What sort of proof do you need, other than a certificate? I never got to see Finnegan. If he's really gone, I like to know where his body is. It's not that simple, Harley. What are you talking about? Terry, she didn't give Finnegan a funeral. Terry had him cremated. Mom? Where is your brother, Wade? Did I miss something, JJ? When did you become a therapist? All I'm trying to do is help Yvette. There's nothing you can do to help. You couldn't stop Keith from taking Ulysses' life and trying to take mine. You're right, and I'll live with that for the rest of my life. What are you talking about? Don't you remember how I ended up walking on this cane, Yvette? Keith got the upper hand and pushed me off the stairs at the Russo mansion the moment I found out that he was trying to take people's lives in this school. Why would Yvette tell you? She ain't want to, Zeke. Then how did you two even end up talking about that night? I think you know. Deep down you know. Can you please not be vague, Dee Dee? Not with something like this. What was the first thought that came to your mind when you heard Yvette got pregnant? What does that matter? It matters because the baby's yours, Zeke. Yvette's pregnant with your baby.